Another impact of this global warming on our environment is extreme weather conditions. So we have observed over this last few decades that there is a frequency of drought conditions, जिसमें कि बहुत ज़्यादा जो है वो कह साली कुछ ऐसे एरियाज़ में जहाँ पर कि रेनफॉल और रेट ऑफ प्रेसिपिटेशन डिक्रीज हो गया है, वहाँ पर ओवरऑल टेम्परेचर इंक्रीज हो गया है. सो वी हैव ऑब्जर्व्ड द ड्रॉट कंडीशंस एंड देन देयर इज अ हीट वेव. Weather is fine for some time and then suddenly there would be a wave of heat and this is bringing a temperature shock. वो species जो कि इस temperature shock को tolerate नहीं कर पाएंगी, they won't be able to survive अगर ये ऐसी ही heat waves जो हैं वो continued रहती हैं. So we have seen over the last 10 years के hurricanes, cyclones, typhoons, इनकी occurrence या इनकी जो number of appearance है वो overall increase हो गई है. So this increase has been observed from 1960 until 2010 and it is still continued. We are observing hurricanes in USA, in American region and in Pacific Ocean and in Indian Ocean. So this is showing that weather patterns are changing and it is becoming extreme day by day. So we have the other thing is extremely wet or dry events within the monsoon period. The monsoon period, which is the precipitation period, और एक बहुत long region है जहाँ पर कि हमें monsoon rainfalls को हम observe करते हैं. But this pattern is being changed. There would be a wet time जिसमें कि rainfall जो है वो continuously होती रहती है and then there will be a break और वो time period बिल्कुल dry गुजरता है and we don't observe any kind of precipitation. So there are this pattern of monsoon rainfall is being changed and it is bringing the shocks, wet and dry periods. Ocean properties, the biochemical properties, physical properties of ocean water is also changing because temperature, जैसे ही atmospheric temperature जो है वो increase करता है, carbon dioxide का rate of solubility is also increasing in the water. Oxygen is totally opposite. जब temperature high है तो rate of solubility of carbon dioxide is higher, but when temperature is warm, rate of oxygen solubility is lower. So once it is pulling out or extracting more carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, और ये carbon dioxide जब से ही water में dissolve होती है, it will react with the water and it will make carbonic acid. Resultantly, ocean water की pH drop करना शुरू कर देगी. And it will become acidic. And this lower pH or the acidic pH we have discussed in the case of acid rains that it is not good for the aquatic animals. And those which have a lower tolerance range for the pH, they will be eliminated from that ecosystem. And because of this global warming, the temperature of water is higher. So oxygen की solubility का rate भी drop कर जाता है. So resultantly, there is a lesser volume of oxygen, dissolved oxygen in our oceans and seas, which will cause a deoxygenation for the animals and plants which need oxygen during the process of respiration. So it is causing a suffocation and it is directly impacting the health of animal life in our ocean bodies. There are changes in ecosystem. Obviously, because our ecosystem, they are dependent upon the temperature, they are dependent upon the weather patterns. अगर temperature change है तो weather patterns change हो रहे हैं. Spring is coming earlier, so winter is being shrinking. उसका time period shrink होने से spring is happening before its time. So जैसे ही weather change होता है, winter is going and spring is coming. तो वो स्पीशीज जो कि पोलर रीजन से मूव कर गई हैं और वो रिसीड कर जाती हैं टुवर्ड्स दोज एरियाज वेयर द टेम्परेचर ड्यूरिंग विंटर इज कंपैरेटिवली फेवरेबल, वो बहुत जल्दी ही अपनी हाइबरनेशन से बाहर निकलेंगी एंड देन दे विल गो टुवर्ड्स द पोलर एरियाज. उन हाइबरनेटिंग स्पीशीज के साथ साथ ऐसी स्पीशीज जो कि हाइबरनेट नहीं भी करी बट दे आर नॉट प्रेजेंट इन द पोलर रीजन्स मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम बिकॉज ऑफ द लॉन्गर विंटर्स. लेकिन चूंकि अब विंटर ड्यूरेशन इज रिड्यूस्ड, दे आर ऑल्सो माइग्रेटिंग टूवर्ड्स द पोल्स. सो इट इज चेंजिंग द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ ecosystem. So it is changing the biodiversity present at the specific time periods of the season. So in spring, we are observing more higher populations and different species of animals which are inhabiting those polar regions, or they are closer to those regions which are close to near to the poles. So then there is an expansion of deserts. Those areas which are facing the dry conditions, वहाँ पर temperature is being higher and higher. So resultantly, life will not be able to survive in those areas. So those areas will be devoid of plants and animals. इसका result ये निकलेगा कि हमारे जो desert के areas हैं वो और expand करना शुरू हो जाएंगे. Ocean acidification, as we just discussed, कि carbonic acid की addition की वजह से pH जो है that will drop, or it is continuously dropping actually because of this global warming. So it will result in changing the aquatic life, the aquatic ecosystem. It could damage the coral reefs, which are very sensitive to the temperature, which are very sensitive to the pH, and corals are responsible for maintaining the aquatic ecosystem. And then it would affect the fisheries, all those species which are protected, and the other species of plants and animals which are present in that aquatic ecosystem. So this increase in temperature and increase in acidity, that is very much threatening for the life species in water ecosystem. Impacts on humans. Humans are responsible for the global warming. We are the major culprits. So obviously we will have to suffer too. All these changes which are coming which are appearing in our weather patterns, in precipitation, these changed precipitation patterns, they would directly affect the humans, because they prefer to live in those areas where the water is present, food is available, and temperature is moderate. So they wouldn't prefer any harsh conditions. हमारी human population deserts में, polar regions में बहुत ही limited है, but it is present in the moderate areas. अगर ये precipitation के patterns change होते हैं, तो weather के patterns change होंगे. अगर वहाँ पे drought conditions आ रही हैं, so humans will not be able to survive. अगर over precipitation से flooding की situation आ रही है, then the humans, they will suffer. And this warming of temperature और rainfall के pattern change होने से जो चीज़ directly affect हो रही है, that is agriculture. And we are depending upon agriculture for our survival. So resultant, this the length of growing season would change, because the winter is shrinking, spring is coming earlier, and summer is expanding. तो हमें वो crops जिनको कि हम उन different seasons में cultivate कर रहे हैं, उनका pattern भी change करना पड़ेगा, और उनकी production जो है वो वैसी नहीं रहेगी जैसे कि हमारे past years में हमारे पास आती रही है. So this drought and extreme events, they would decrease the yield of many crops. And it would directly affect the food security and the global economy, because a major portion of human population is earning money from the agriculture. And any kind of a negative impact due to global warming on our agriculture, it would directly affect the economy of humans. Because of the change of weather, obviously there would be a shift of changes in the crop varieties. We will have to change the crop varieties according to the seasons. It would affect our economy, it will affect our agricultural practices, and then there will be new pests and diseases. Because pest or diseases की occurrence is also related to the temperature. वो pathogens जो कि बहुत high temperature पे survive नहीं कर पाते हैं, they might not appear during the high temperature seasons. लेकिन अगर इससे किसी और ऐसे regions जहाँ पे के spring ज़्यादा increase हो गया, या फिर वहाँ पे के winter duration increase हो गया, या वहाँ पे precipitation आना शुरू हो गई है, तो ऐसे pathogens जो कि उन conditions में survive कर सकते हैं, या वो वहाँ पे compete कर सकते हैं, they would start appearing, and there might be occurrence of unexpected diseases, outbreaks in different weather conditions. Food security, as we already said, कि agriculture production जैसे ही change होती है, तो food security would be a major issue. It's still an issue. We still are not coping with this issue. लेकिन अगर global warming से food security का issue और enhance हो जाता है, तो possibly बहुत से ऐसे countries जिसमें से drought facing countries like African countries, they won't be able to handle this problem. And then there will be thermal stress, there will be heat waves, there will be cold waves, and this imbalance between this temperature, it would bring the shock, and this shock is not suitable for the humans because they are endothermic animals. Extreme events, there would be the weather disasters. As we said, that the cyclones, typhoons, hurricanes, flooding, it is happening at the higher rate as compared to the previous timings. So in सारे catastrophes का होना human survival के लिए suitable नहीं है. It would direct affect their population, it would cause economic damage, and it will reduce the quality of life in the hit areas. Infectious diseases, for example, malaria, dengue, they would spread because of changes in weather. वो weather conditions जिनमें in mosquitoes ज़्यादा बेहतर survive कर सकते हैं, reproduce कर सकते हैं. So those weather conditions, वो जिन भी regions में होंगी वहाँ पर इस तरह की diseases जो है उनकी outbreak हो सकती है. Air pollution is causing an impact because of the change in weather. There would be more pollution in air, there would be suspension of air pollutants for the longer time in the air, and the wind would also disperse those air pollutants to the different areas. So that is another impact. अगर global warming को हम specifically पाकिस्तान के scenario में देखें तो as recent climatic trends which have been provided by Department of Meteorology Pakistan, उसके अकॉर्डिंग जो चेंजेस इन पिछले डिकेड्स में पाकिस्तान में के क्लाइमेट में अपेयर हुए हैं उस वहाँ पर देयर इज अ राइज इन मीन टेम्परेचर ऑफ 0.6 to 1 degree centigrade in arid regions mostly, and it includes the coastal areas, arid mountains, and hyper arid plains. And then there is an increase of 0.5 to 0.7% in the solar radiations over the southern half of the country. So we can imagine that this increase in solar radiation is further increasing the temperature of that region. And then there is a decrease of cloud cover up to 3 to 5% in the central Pakistan, which is resulting in increasing in the sunshine hours. It is increasing the intensity of solar radiations in those areas. So there is a high temperature, and then there is more intense solar radiation. And then there is increase of 5% in net irrigation water requirements with no changes in the rainfall. Because we are, dry conditions, they are increasing the demand for the water. लेकिन at the same time, monsoon patterns में आने वाले changes, they are not adding up more rainfall, they're not bringing more rainfall. So हमारे पास input of water जो है वो वैसी ही है या थोड़ी सी उससे भी कम होगी जितनी के पहले decades में कुछ 10 साल पहले या उससे 20 साल पहले थी. लेकिन water की demand is increasing because of expanding dry areas. So that's how we can imagine कि global warming global level पर और एक country के level पर, and then at the level of one ecosystem, it has a very direct impacts and the negative impacts on all those populations which are living in that habitat. So this problem must be controlled as a priority. Carbon dioxide emission and all other greenhouse gases emission, they must be controlled. इसके साथ साथ deforestation और addition of pollutants जो कि blindly हम अपने environment में adapt करते चले जा रहे हैं, इनके लिए बहुत strict और controlled measures होने चाहिए which must be strictly followed. And even at the level of an individual, there should be a public awareness about this global warming, because we are going to face very hard time in our futures.